what advantage has the worker from his toil? I have considered a task that God has appointed for the sons of man to be busy about. He has made everything appropriate to its time and has put the timeless into their hearts without man's ever discovering from beginning to end the work which God has done. You know, Ecclesiastes is one of those depressing books in the Old Testament where the writer is really lamented, or whatever, I can't say the word, just really upset, really distraught about just the fact of what's the point of life. Because he describes here how man and how himself, how they work every day. You know, you work every day, 9 to 5, you get up, and you accomplish and you accumulated all things, and then you die. And those things that you accumulated go to someone else. You know, what's the point? What was the point of all of it? And then he mentions, you know, how God has put timelessness into the heart of man. And I mentioned this yesterday in Frackville. How also he recognizes this desire for the infinite. Like he doesn't want to die. He wants to live forever. And he wants life to have meaning. You know, and death seems to kind of drain out all that meaning. You know, all of a sudden it just comes to an end. And again, we kind of hear that in the beginning of today's first reading. You know, a time to born, to a time to die, a time to plant, time to uproot the plant. You know, that just, you know, in life, it's just good and the bad, and then it just all goes away. You know, and so he's just really, really struggling with this. And maybe kind of combined it with the gospel today, where Jesus, after the apostles said, or Peter says that you are the Christ of God, Jesus rebukes them and directs them not to tell this to anyone. Now, why would he do that? Why? I think the reason between this and the first reading is the same. Is that the man in the first reading and the apostles and all the others, you know, the reason why Jesus doesn't want this revealed to the crowd is because we're so short-sighted in our vision of life. You know, we do this all the time. You know, we just see the danger right in front of us. We just see the short timeline that we have in life, and we get into despair. We get into this doom type of mentality. There's no hope. There's no way out of this. And then we ask the question, what's the purpose of all this? What's the purpose of this suffering? What's the purpose of this tragedy? But we only see what's right in front of us. You know. Now, the writer in Ecclesiastes, he doesn't yet know or understand, you know, eternal life. He doesn't understand the value of suffering yet. And we can probably say the reason why Jesus has people not reveal who he is yet, why he told his apostles not to tell anyone this, is because they can be short-sighted. They can be focused in on just the miracles and healings that Jesus has done. And we do get that glimpse in the Gospels of how, you know, people are more attracted not to those teachings and not to his radical teachings, but towards the miracles and the other neat things that he does. And then he caps it off at the end of the gospel passage about his suffering. Again, the apostles, we know, especially in Matthew's gospel, are just disturbed by this, because in their short-sightedness, how can the Christ, the Son of the living God, suffer and die? Very, very short-sighted. God's vision and God's plan is much bigger and broader than ours. If we only come to know, all of us, myself included, all come to know and understand that, you know, maybe then we can, at least with grace and with hope, you know, approach the trials and sufferings that we have in life. To not fall into despair or desolation, but to know that God's vision and God's plan is much larger than ours. May God bless you.